Thank you. So I'm presenting some opposite cases in comparison with the presentation before. We will present two cases of the Descemet retaining the anterior chamber. First case is a man who had keratoconus, and we decided for a mushroom femtolaser assisted mushroom PK. And we do the standard technique. We prepare the donor graft on the artificial chamber of the laser, but unfortunately the femtolaser didn't cut almost at all. So at this point we needed to gently detach the uncut part of the graft, but eventually we finished by doing almost 360 degrees cut with scissors. We do the same thing for the receiver, for the patient eye, and again the laser didn't cut. Again we cut with the scissors almost 360 degrees. The surgeon became already very upset and of course frustrated, because it's an expensive piece of equipment. This is where the eye was bared, and you just pay a little bit of attention. It looks nice, but you will see that it is not as nice as you want it to. And then the graft was sutured in a normal way, combined separate and continuous suture, but for some reason the eye failed to reepithelize, and we saw that it was a Descemet remain in the anterior chamber. With the help of the OCT and UBM as well. We decided for re-entering, paying attention to avoid the sutures, and we withdrew very careful, the surgeon withdrew very careful the Descemet remnants. The epithelium was thick and he decided to remove it completely, and this was more helpful in visualizing, but at the end the Descemet was completely retained, as we could see the following days, because post reintervention evolution was very good. The OCT looked nice, the anterior chamber was clean, and the eye evolved very well afterwards. This is a second case with advanced corneal dystrophy done by a younger colleague of ours before manual keratoplasty, PK, using Moriarty fine. We thought it is a straightforward case, that's why it was given to a younger colleague, to experienced surgeon, but or talented surgeon, let's say, not very experienced. And again, look how the eye looked after we took out the cornea, the diseased cornea, and then we just sutured the donor, manually prepared, of course. The following days, the air bubble had a strange shape, as you can see even here, and the cornea, the graft failed to epithelize in the normal time expected. And again, in the OCT, we could see Descemet retain almost completely in the anterior chamber. This time we used dye. Again, dye proved to be very useful in visualizing Descemet in several types of cases. Again, we pay attention to enter with our knives for paracentesis very careful in order to avoid cutting the sutures. We need, because on the OCT the Descemet membrane looked like being in the whole, extending in the whole anterior chamber. We need to check the periphery as well, but at a certain point we needed to use the intraoperative OCT, which really helped us in showing where the Descemet was started to detach. In this way we could inject OVD much better, much towards the point where we could detach completely the Descemet from the lens and from the cornea, because we needed to avoid to touch both the anterior capsule and the lens and the endothelium. So we had viscoat towards the endothelium, and methyl cellulose or provisc towards the lens. Thus we created a sort of sandwich in which the retained Descemet was captured, so it became much more easily to withdraw it completely. Of course, we used the intraoperative OCT several times during this procedure because we wanted to check ourselves that everything is out. Not only the dyeing was helpful, but also the intraoperative OCT, and we took it out completely, piece by piece. Unfortunately, it is so easy to be broken when you take it out through the small paracentesis, but eventually, with a complete check of the anterior chamber, everything was out. Just wash completely the OVD, and the rest of the surgery went. We are almost finished with the surgery. A final check of the anterior chamber, and this is the end of the surgery. This is how the eye evolved the post-op days, the following days, very well. Nice OCT image, just a bit of margins here in the periphery. And after 1 year after the surgery, the eye looked very well. Thank you.